So welcome to another Thursday on the Pagan Perspective. I'm your Thursday host, Yeka, and this week we're talking about natural versus synthetic materials. So our question comes from Nathan, who writes, "Hey, I was just wondering what everyone's opinions are on the use of natural versus synthetic materials in spells, charms, etc., like gemstones, for example. Many are man-made slash altered, but, so I'm told, still have their different properties: healing, cleansing, grounding, luck, etc. I've been having some serious conflicting thoughts lately regarding this topic, as I practice natural slash green witchcraft, and have always had the belief that magic is in nature. Therefore, things that do not occur naturally in our world are not of magic. I'm just hoping for some different thoughts on the subject, as I can be persuaded to change my way of thinking if good points are made, and my current opinion is quite debilitating to my path, as I don't like to substitute natural materials slash ingredients, which can cause me to just give up on a particular thing instead of simply trying. I hope I've been clear, as I would love to hear back from you all. Thanks for the great work. Keep it up." First off, I think that it's awesome that you're open to changing your perspective, your opinion, if you're presented with ideas that have a good argument to them. So my approach to this is that I actually really dislike the I guess it's not really a dichotomy, but this separation that we create between the idea of natural and things by humans. So my perspective is that we humans are actually part of nature. And this idea of this separation, which I really think is a false separation that we create, I believe is the source of many, many challenges that we are facing today as a culture and as many different cultural groups as a world, is in this idea that somehow we are not part of nature, and that whether we are there's a lot of folks who think that somehow we're better than the rest of nature, or what I think is perhaps even more problematic is this idea that we are worse or not as good, that we're somehow this cancer to the rest of nature. I think is a very, I believe that these are very harmful ideas. I understand the source of some of it, right? I understand trying to make a distinction between something that our species made and something that a different species made, or a process that might occur were we not present, like a geological process, or a bird makes a feather, rather than us taking material and combining it in a way that is uniquely human to do. So for me, I don't like to put a negative or positive value judgment on these materials based on whether a human created it or whether a non-human created it. I think that both of them can have great value. Some things may be toxic to our systems, to our biological systems in particular quantities, but things that would be considered natural in terms of humans having nothing to do with it might be toxic as well, like uranium, for instance, or things like that. You might have a human-made compound or a non-human-made compound. So it's a balance of figuring out, it's not about did we make it or did something else make it, is how does it interact with us? So I've been coming at this from a very kind of physical, biological perspective, but I think that that also applies and can apply to our mental states and our emotional relationship to these materials. So I believe that it comes down to, what is your connection to these materials? If you have a very strong connection, a very strong association, then that's going to play a big part in how how you choose to use it in your spell and how that's gonna work out for you. If you're using a material that, let's say your mother always she wore roses, right? Like the smell of roses when you were a child, and you really associate that smell with her. But later on, you're trying to use roses, and the spell says it represents something else. You may still have that learned response of rose and just not be able to think of anything but your mom. And, that's not a bad thing. That's just a particular thing about you as a person. So, my thoughts on this and my advice, and of course, take it as you will. I think that whatever you choose to do and what works for you is the best thing. But if it was me, what I would do is I'd look at each of these materials and say, what does it mean to me? When I use this particular gemstone, which I don't particularly use gemstones in my practice, but if I did, how do I feel around it? What does it represent? And then work that into whatever my ritual is or my practice is. So, yeah, I hope that addresses it a little bit. Next week, I will not be here. I will actually be putting on a very big, fluffy white dress. It's not so fluffy, but it's white. So the wonderful Danny will be here instead. And I guess that means, I think that's the last video I'll do this month. So you'll get a lot of Danny, and then I will see you guys in August. So, okay. Have a wonderful week. Let us know in the comments below if you guys have any opinions, perspectives, experiences to share, and take care.